Welcome to 1 in Millions, the real UPSC model interview. കഴിഞ്ഞ UPSC മെയിൻ എക്സാമിന് ശേഷം ഫൈനൽ ഇൻ്റർവ്യൂവിലേക്ക് 100-ൽ മുകളിൽ കുട്ടികളാണ് കേരളത്തിൽ നിന്നും സെലക്ട് ചെയ്യപ്പെട്ടിരിക്കുന്നത്. ആൻഡ് ദാറ്റ് ഷോസ് യങ്സ്റ്റേഴ്സ് എത്രത്തോളം സീരിയസ് ആയിട്ടാണ് ഇപ്പോൾ UPSC എക്സാം അവരൊരു കരിയർ ഓപ്ഷൻ ആയിട്ട് കാണുന്നത് എന്നുള്ളത്. ആൻഡ് സിവിൽ സർവീസ് എക്സാമിന് പ്രിപ്പയർ ചെയ്യുന്ന കാൻഡിഡേറ്റ്സ് 3 ഘട്ടങ്ങളിലൂടെയാണ് കടന്നു പോകുന്നത്. ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് ദ പ്രിലിംസ് എക്സാം, ദെൻ ദ മെയിൻസ് എക്സാം ആൻഡ് ദെൻ ദ ഫൈനൽ ഇൻ്റർവ്യൂ. ഇതിൽ പ്രിലിംസ് എക്സാമും മെയിൻസ് എക്സാമും കാൻഡിഡേറ്റ്സിൻ്റെ നോളജ് അറിയാൻ വേണ്ടിയിട്ടാണ്. എന്നാൽ ദ ഫൈനൽ ഇൻ്റർവ്യൂ ഇസ് ടു അസസ് ദെയർ പേഴ്സണാലിറ്റി. ഇന്നിവിടെ നടക്കാൻ പോകുന്നത് UPSCയുടെ ഫൈനൽ ഇൻ്റർവ്യൂവിൻ്റെ ഒരു മോഡൽ വേർഷനാണ്. ഒരു കാൻഡിഡേറ്റ് ആ ഇൻ്റർവ്യൂവിന് എങ്ങനെ ഇരിക്കണം, സംസാരിക്കണം, ബിഹേവ് ചെയ്യണം എന്നൊക്കെയാണ് ടെസ്റ്റ് ചെയ്യപ്പെടുന്നത്. ആൻഡ് ഇന്നിവിടെ നമ്മളെ സഹായിക്കുവാനായിട്ട് ഒരു പാനൽ ഓഫ് എമിനൻറ്റ് പേഴ്സണാലിറ്റീസ് എത്തിയിട്ടുണ്ട്. നമ്മുടെ ഇന്നത്തെ പാനലിസ്റ്റുകൾ റിട്ടയർഡ് IAS KT Chacko, former Director General of Foreign Trade, Government of India, Dr. B. Ashok IAS, Secretary of Ayush Sports, Government of Kerala, A. Hemachandran IPS, Director General, Fire and Rescue Services, Dr. Gopalakrishnan, Professor of English, Chairman, Amrita Civil Service Academy. Hello.
Hi.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Big battle inde 2 sessions കഴിഞ്ഞിരിക്കുകയാണ് and you're waiting for the third അല്ലേ?
Yes.
So how do you feel now?
വളരെയധികം സന്തോഷം തോന്നുന്നു. അടുത്ത ഇന്റർവ്യൂ കുറച്ചുകൂടി നന്നായിട്ട് ചെയ്യണം. എത്രയും പെട്ടെന്ന് സർവീസിലെത്തണം.
ആരാണ് താങ്കളെ ബിഫോർ ഞാൻ കാര്യമായിട്ട് സംസാരിച്ചു പോകുന്നുണ്ട്, ജസ്റ്റ് ഗിവ് us an introduction about yourself.
ഹായ്, എൻ്റെ പേര് ആനന്ദ് ജസ്റ്റിൻ. ഇതെൻ്റെ സെക്കൻഡ് അറ്റംപ്റ്റ് ആണ്. ഫസ്റ്റ് അറ്റംപ്റ്റ് ഞാൻ പ്രിലിംസ് ക്ലിയർ ചെയ്തു. ഇപ്പോഴാണ് ഞാൻ മെയിൻസ് ക്ലിയർ ചെയ്യുന്നത്. എനിക്ക് ജിയോളജിയിലൊരു ഗ്രാജുവേഷൻ ഉണ്ട്. എൻ്റെ സ്ഥലം തിരുവനന്തപുരത്ത് വലിയതുറയിലാണ്.
ഇതൊക്കെയാണ് ബേസിക് ആയിട്ടുള്ളത്. ഓക്കെ, ആരാണ് ആനന്ദിനെ ഇൻസ്പയർ ചെയ്തിട്ടുള്ളത്? ഓർ ഒരു വ്യക്തി എന്നാണോ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഒരു ഗ്രൂപ്പ് ഓഫ് മെമ്പേഴ്സ് ഉണ്ടോ സിവിൽ സർവീസിലേക്ക് ഇൻസ്പയർ ചെയ്തത്?
എന്നെ സംബന്ധിച്ചിടത്തോളം എനിക്കൊരു റോൾ മോഡലില്ല. കുട്ടിക്കാലം തൊട്ട് സ്കൂളിലെ ടീച്ചേഴ്സ് ഒരുപാട് പ്രോത്സാഹിപ്പിക്കുമായിരുന്നു, കുറച്ച് റിലേറ്റീവ്സ് പ്രോത്സാഹിപ്പിക്കുമായിരുന്നു. ബേസിക്കലി വ്യക്തിയെക്കാളും എനിക്ക് സർവീസാണ് ഇഷ്ടപ്പെട്ടത്. സിവിൽ സർവീസിൽ പ്രത്യേകിച്ച് ഫോറിൻ സർവീസിനോടൊരു താല്പര്യമുണ്ട്. അപ്പോൾ ആ സർവീസിൽ ഒരു നല്ല ഡിപ്ലോമാറ്റായി മാറിക്കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ കുറച്ച് കാര്യങ്ങൾ ചെയ്യാം, എൻ്റെ കഴിവ് നന്നായിട്ട് പ്രയോജനപ്പെടുത്താമെന്നൊക്കെ വിചാരിക്കുന്നു.
അപ്പോൾ ഇനി ഞാൻ എന്താണ് ആനന്ദിന് അതിൽ ചൂസ് ചെയ്യാൻ താല്പര്യം ചോദിക്കേണ്ട? യു ഹാവ് ഓൾറെഡി മെൻഷൻഡ് IFS ആണെന്നുള്ളത്. ഓക്കെ, സോ ഇപ്പം നമ്മളിങ്ങനെ ജസ്റ്റ് ആ ഒരു മോഡൽ വേർഷനിലേക്ക് കടക്കാനായിട്ട് റെഡി ആയിട്ട് നിൽക്കുകയാണ്. ഒരു 10 റേറ്റിംഗ് സ്കെയിലിൽ നോക്കിക്കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ എവിടെയായിരിക്കും താങ്കളുടെ ടെൻഷൻ ഇപ്പോൾ നിൽക്കുന്നത്?
ടെൻഷൻ ഇല്ല എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ തെറ്റാണ്, ടെൻഷനുണ്ട്. ബട്ട് ഔട്ട് ഓഫ് 10 I will say 2.
ഓക്കെ, വെരി ഗുഡ്. അപ്പം നല്ല റിലാക്സ്ഡ് ആണ്. ആൻഡ് വാട്ട് യു തിങ്ക് ആനന്ദിൻ്റെ സ്ട്രെങ്ത് എന്താണ്?
എൻ്റെ സ്ട്രെങ്ത് എന്ന് ഞാൻ വിചാരിക്കുന്നത് ഐ ഹാവ് എൻ എബിലിറ്റി ടു കോൺവേഴ്സ് വിത്ത് പീപ്പിൾ. എപ്പോഴും പല ആളുകളെ കാണാനും ബന്ധപ്പെടാനും ഒക്കെ ഒരു സന്തോഷമുണ്ട്. അപ്പോൾ ഇപ്പോൾ ഞാനിപ്പോൾ എൻ്റർ ചെയ്യാൻ പോകുന്ന ഒരു ഇൻ്റർവ്യൂ ആയിട്ടല്ല ഞാൻ കാണുന്നത്. വളരെ സമൂഹത്തിലെ 4 പ്രധാനപ്പെട്ട വ്യക്തികളെ കാണാൻ സാധിക്കുന്നു, അവരോട് സംസാരിക്കാൻ സാധിക്കുന്നു, എന്നെ പറ്റിയുള്ള അഭിപ്രായം കേൾക്കാൻ പറ്റുന്നു. അപ്പോൾ അതുകൊണ്ട് ടെൻഷൻ കുറയ്ക്കാൻ പറ്റുന്നതാണ് ഞാൻ വിചാരിക്കുന്നത്.
റിയലി ഗുഡ് ആറ്റിറ്റ്യൂഡ് ആൻഡ് ഓൾ ദി ബെസ്റ്റ് ഫോർ ഇന്റർവ്യൂ. ഓക്കെ, അപ്പോൾ ഇന്റർവ്യൂ കഴിയുമ്പോഴത്തേക്ക് ഞാൻ ഇവിടെ തന്നെ കാണും. ഡു ഷെയർ യുവർ എക്സ്പീരിയൻസ്. താങ്ക് യു ആനന്ദ്.
Morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning, Anand Justin.
Morning, sir.
Welcome. You studied geology at the graduate level.
Yes, sir.
And we also find that your areas of interest include social science quiz competition.
Yes, I participated in quiz competitions when I was in school and colleges.
When you were in the school, okay. Was it a school level participation of your school or inter-school quiz competition?
No, sir, I used to participate in many inter-school competitions.
Also. And you like teaching and walking.
Sir.
Whom do you teach these days?
So usually I teach students from primary and secondary divisions for motivational classes, career guidances, and sometimes there is an education.
Primary children for motivation?
Yes, sir, it's like career guidance and some if during vacation classes there will be some collective classes for them.
Okay. What are the various leadership theories which you have studied in sociology? Have you studied leadership theories?
Sir, I studied, but unfortunately, I am unable to recollect that. Sorry, sir.
Okay. And what is your take on Mandal Commission report and its implementation, and more castes wanting to join as OBCs? Agitations were going on in various parts of the country. What is your take on those issues?
So, the recommendations of Mandal Commission reflected the backwardness of many OBC, other backward classes in our country, and it was instrumental in reducing the historical backwardness between the upper castes and the so-called lower castes in our country. And regarding the growing demands from other castes for reservation benefits, it indirectly points to the success of the reservation system the Indian state is now providing. But it is also a worrying concern that the castes are seeing a trend of saying that they are educationally and culturally backward, even though relatively to many castes they are forward. So, I feel that the demands for reservation is in the background of the economic decaying, especially in the agricultural sectors. Many traditional caste group which was traditionally being considered as affluent are now seeking reservation. And sociologically speaking, we can see a trend of de-Sanskritization. During the earlier trend, castes seemed to portray themselves as upper culturally forward, but now they seem to forward themselves as backward. So, this trend we need to consider very seriously, and the selection of caste for the OBC reservation system need to be very transparent, and we need to think about some reforms also.
A lot is being said about inclusive growth, particularly by the Nobel laureate Amartya Sen and various others. What is your view on the focus on inclusive growth in the Indian context?
Sir, my opinion is that the demand for inclusive growth in India arose due to the apparent flaws in the new neoliberal economic policies. The traditional economic wisdom says that when a tide comes, every boat will rise on. But after the neoliberal economic policies and the globalization, not every section of Indian society wouldn't equally benefit from that, especially the Dalits, Adivasis, and the people belonging to lower income sections. And in the industrial sector, the micro, small and medium enterprises, they were at some point of time and at some sectors they were adversely affected by that. So, our developmental policies has to be streamlined in order that every section of society have to be able to reap the benefits of development. I think that policy have much relevance in India.
But there are studies which showed that even before globalization policies got implemented since 1991, India's population had a huge gap between the rich and the poor, and there has been an enormously high percentage of poor in our country, which got bridged in the succeeding decades, including after liberalization. So, are you still wanting to put the disparities in income distribution to globalization?
Sir, as a person who studied sociology as optional, I will not blame the globalization as a process for the at present poverty in India. Poverty has been a historical factor in India, especially since the colonial period. But after the 1991, making income and spending the income we have become very easily as in other societies. So, what we are seeing in India is that poverty has been reduced, the percentage of poverty has reduced, the avenues for jobs has increased, and the rate at which the income is generated and concentrated at some few pockets of society has increased. So, the poverty has increased should not be construed to the fact that the income inequality in India has increased exponentially. The recent Oxfam report also said that the total income of the last 57% of Indian population is equal to the total wealth of the 8% of Indian society. That type of inequality should be concerned, so that the policies aligned so that the globalization benefits should be given to all sections of society.
If you were the policy maker, how would you bridge this gap in equality? What policies will you recommend?
So even before saying what would do I do, but I believe that system has to work as a team. A single worker is difficult to change the system, and being an officer, I will always try to identify what are the who are the
No, I
marginal
didn't ask you
sections.
as an IAS officer or an IPS officer to change
Sure,
it.
sir.
But suppose you were the decision maker in this country and you want to bring down inequality, what would be your focus as far as policy prescriptions are concerned?
Sir, as a person who have authority regard to the policy making process, I will see to it that the marginal sections, whether in agriculture, industry or service sector, are getting opportunities in the mainstream economic society. Maybe it is like the giving opportunities in education sector, or getting jobs, or getting shield from the shocks of the volatile economy.
How do you create opportunities for them? Specific examples, the way you can create opportunities for the downtrodden and the marginalized?
So, as an officer, I believe that in India it can be done in two ways. First, we should ensure that the benefits which is provided by the government reach the targeted. For that, we can use the technology, streamlining the working of bureaucracy and other means. And the second means focusing on the private sector. The private sector in India is a thriving sector, but it has to be aligned. The guidance should come from the state. So, the public-private partnership and the better collaboration between the public, private and the government will lead to channelization of energy. For example, our corporate social responsibility, that is a huge opportunity, but I will focus and see to it that these are given to the needy sections of society.
Your state Kerala is known for its high literacy, but you come across a number of issues from that state which one would not normally expect, like take the case of atrocities against women. It makes national headlines about crime against women, atrocities against women, children and things like that. Why is it that on the one hand when there is literacy you expect women empowerment, but on the other hand there is an impression that there is a lot of exploitation of women. How do you explain this from a sociological point of view?
So, the Kerala society has always that paradox. Even though we are high in human development index, some aspects of society we have huge lacunas. And my conviction says that literacy won't give a society happiness, or in the broader term the prosperity which it needs. And regarding Kerala society, the atrocities against women and the other issues like suicide, alcoholism and divorce rates are very high. And I believe that the fabric of Kerala society have many social tensions due to the increase in alcoholism, or maybe the tearing up of family due to the migration to Gulf areas. And regarding your question on the atrocities against women, so there is a point that reporting in Kerala is very high. The public awareness about the laws and the benefits we have from the government is very high, and the people are very open, since the governance system in Kerala is also comparatively very developed. That is the reason, but I will not try to hide it in the tensions of Kerala. We have tensions in Kerala mainly due to unemployment and other issues, due to lack of generation of jobs.
Now, do you attribute these things to the increased reporting of crime? You made such a reference.
Yes, sir. The reporting of crimes is a major factor. According to National Crime Records Bureau, Kerala is the first state in reference to the reporting.
No, I am asking about the condition of women. So, the atrocities against women, is it because of the higher reporting, or compared to other states it is less? Is it that you are mentioning?
Sir, my belief is that any social issue cannot be attributed to a single cause. Reporting is a factor, but there are other issues in Kerala society. For example, the degradation of communal life. 30 years ago, the neighbor was a very big factor in Kerala's family, but now due to the urbanization and the ghettoization in some select cities of Kerala, the role of neighbor or the the engagement of community in Kerala's family life has been reduced. Then we should see to that in the 3 mega cities of Kerala, the alienation of some communities have been happening. For example, the atrocities against women are mainly reported from the slum dwelling people and the peri-urban areas. So, in that areas it is very difficult to implement the governance system, which is very well done in the city areas and other areas. So we need to ensure that the inequality doesn't creep into Kerala society, and the communal life of Kerala should be restored to in its old glory.
So we should go back, Kerala society should go back in time. That's what you are suggesting.
Actually, no sir. We had some very good factors which contributed to the stability of Kerala, such as the community life, the engagement between different communities of people. I think that thing we are quietly losing. At that front, I will think that we should go back.
You also made a statement that the suicide rate in Kerala is high.
Yes sir.
What is the suicide rate in Kerala?
Sir, it is 7.4 per 1 lakh according to NCRB data.
You are sure that number is right? 7.4 per lakh per year.
Sir, I read it like that.
No, it's not correct. If it
Sorry,
is
sir.
7.4, it is very low. It is much more than that.
Sorry sir, sorry sir, if it is wrong, I will say
Okay,
to you that
let
is
us
right.
forget about the number. You are
Okay.
right that suicide rate in Kerala is very high.
Okay.
But have you analyzed any reasons for this? Because you are a student of sociology. Can you give any reasons for that?
Sir, regarding the rising suicide trends in Kerala, I have some reasons. First of all, the rate of unemployment in Kerala is very high. Then second, the Gulf migration, even though bring about some economic benefits, it had brought about some changes in Kerala's domestic life. Earlier, like I said, it is the feature of Gulf migration is that the huge number of males from family are in abroad, while their wives and children are in Kerala.
Now, what are the sociological theories on suicide? Who is the sociologist who has studied this subject of suicide?
So, the French sociologist Emile Durkheim studies extensively about suicide, and he said that in a society suicide can be increased due to two factors: if the integration of society increases or if the integration reduces. And I feel that in Kerala society the two factors are at work.
So, both the factors what Emile Durkheim said, it is work in Kerala.
In my observation, I feel it is right sir, both factors are working in Kerala.
Okay, an entirely different issue. Recently, Honorable Supreme Court, while dealing with the issue of Ayodhya, the Honorable Court headed by the Chief Justice made a suggestion that this Ayodhya dispute, it should not be made into a legal issue to be decided judicially by the court. This has to be mediated between the parties, and the Chief Justice volunteered that if necessary I can be the mediator. I would like to know your views on this suggestion by the Supreme Court. You are aware of this?
Yes sir, I am aware of that. Sir, I also agree to the view of Supreme Court Chief Justice, and I really feel that since we are a religiously very sensitive country, whatever the decision the judiciary take, it's a very transparent body, but whatever the decision take, there can be serious protest in society. We cannot be sure that the decision of Supreme Court can be taken unanimously by the all stakeholders in the dispute. It has also happened in the past, and the Supreme Court gave many suggestions. It was not applicable to many of the stakeholders. So, in the interest of the people living there and the social harmony between all over the India, it is very beneficial that the stakeholders involved are reaching a compromise.
So, you are agreeable to the suggestion.
Yes sir.
So, which party didn't agree to that? There are two parties to the dispute.
Yes sir.
So, what was the reaction of those parties to the suggestion?
Sir, from the newspaper I read, I realized that both parties are very amenable to the Chief Justice suggestion that a compromise should be reached rather than the legal litigation. It has many years since the Supreme Court has taken this case.
Okay, I leave it.
Well, I did not want to ask this, but this interesting question has been asked. See, when two parties approach the Supreme Court, or a party approaches and you are a respondent and you enter your appearance, the first premise you concede is that I am willing to go by the decision of the court. Then where does this talk of compromise come from? Does it not show that the judges are rather confused or incapable or not confident about delivering a judgment on merits? Ayodhya or not, what people's sentiment comes after the merit of the decision. Issue is the fate of that land and the the what sort of ownership should be exercised, who owns that particular piece of land. At the end of it, it is a title dispute, so to say. The highest court of the country says that, you know, to assuage sentiment, marry the justice with the sentiment, I will negotiate. The constitution has no provisions for alternate grievance redressal when a matter is placed before the court. Don't you think that the court compromised its stature by offering to settle and mediate when it can deliver a judgment on merits? Actually, High Court has delivered a judgment on merits,
Yes,
right
sir.
or wrong?
Yes,
No.
sir.
Don't you think there is that side to it?
Sir, you are very much right in that the judiciary have the responsibility to solve a dispute, whatever come in front of
Not
him.
solving the dispute, deciding on merit. Dispute is of no issue. It's of no consequence to the judge. Why should a judge, particularly the Chief Justice, be bothered about law and order, which is a preserve of the executive? He delivers a judgment, it creates a riot. Let it be, then so be it. Why did he take that view?
Sir, I feel that after so much years the case is litigating in the court, the Supreme Court Chief Justice felt that we should face the human element, because this issue is not only about the legal rights, it is about the life of the people, not only in Ayodhya, all over the country. And we already saw what are the consequences of these issues. So, I felt that in that regard Supreme Court took a practical decision rather than go by the theoretical aspects. It is true that judiciary has the responsibility, but I feel that sometimes you have to look into the practical realities also.
Okay, you will still give a handle to the judge's offer. Anyway, it is an offer, it has not fructified. What do you feel about the Supreme Court's decision on the location of liquor vending points? Again, I personally thought that the court has really overstepped its brief, because it was for the policy making institution to decide whether the court may have evidence before it that that is causing drunken driving to an extent. But what surety do you have that if you shift the vending point by half a kilometer, your drunken driving would fall substantially? What do you think of the court overstepping it, particularly when it has to adjudicate on so many cases on merit? 30 lakhs suits pending all over India, High Court, Supreme Court, everywhere. You step in and start taking the policy matter and start delivering judgments which trigger unintended parallel consequences everywhere. What do you think of it? It's not a case of judicial overreach.
Sir, I believe that in this verdict the Supreme Court tried to face the problem of liquor and rather than that the accidents causing by road accidents. But I felt that giving this verdict, the Supreme Court failed to see the other ramifications of the verdict, such as the loss of employment and the practicality of the verdict. The banning of liquor vents near the side of national highways and state highways didn't mean that the consuming liquor while driving will not stop.
And he is driving half a kilometer more on an average purchase.
Yes, sir, that is
thereby
also
increasing the chances of.
that's also possible, sir. And my problem is that several social issues in society is polycentric issues. It has many aspects. The Supreme Court tried to address one issues, but it failed to see other issues.
Achha, I wanted to ask you another question from an answer you gave before. You mentioned that rise in inequality is an undesirable consequence of the liberalization policy, and you gave figures of 8% of people holding a substantially high percentage of income. But is that not the fundamental driver in a capitalist society? The disproportionate wealth or the larger than normal wealth acquired by the first 10%. Is that not the driver which prompts every other actor to work hard or get better qualified or do more profitable business or come forth? If you do away with that inequality by way of, let us say, a basic universal income for everybody, will it not also take away the incentive for youngsters to come forward, begin enterprises, compete and come up?
Sir, you are right in the aspect that the capitalist system support a merit based system. Whoever have the merit and who are ready to do hard work than others should have more advantage in the economic system. But sir, that does not mean that the people who are left behind in the queue, people who are hapless, people who don't have the opportunities to participate in the system should be left off. Even in the capitalist system, the state have a benign role to see that the rules of the game are properly set. So I believe that whatever the shocks come in the system or whatever the benefits come in the system, the state should have a mentality that the least beneficial people should have given the opportunity to come and participate again. Thank you, sir.
Okay, you are a product of University College.
Yes, sir.
What, according to you, are the most important features of the college?
Sir, I feel that as a student of University College, I am proud that the college has a very beautiful legacy of teachers, of students. And
Can you be more precise?
sir, number one, the thing is that the varied disciplines are the present in the University College. From psychology to the mathematics, lot of disciplines are provided in the college, and the extracurricular activities from the quizzing, debating, and the various festivals conducted in the college are very much
That is,
useful.
these are things done in all colleges. What is
Yes, sir.
special about your college?
Sir, I feel that comparing with other graduate colleges in Trivandrum city, the freedom given to students is comparatively better.
When was the college started?
Sir, if my memory is correct, it is 1866.
Okay, what is the college celebrating right now?
Sir, the 150th anniversary of its establishment, sir.
Okay. And do you know that University College is the only college to which Mahatma Gandhi had come?
Sorry, sir, I am the first time I knowing about that. That is a
Yeah.
new information. Thank you, sir.
He visited the college in 1924, if I remember right.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. And any other feature of University College? Any other thing that you remember?
Sir, as a person who studied 3 years in University College,
Huh.
I felt the advantage of being so near to the city center. So I would be able to reach the libraries, and the BJT hall is there. So
Okay.
many cultural activities are there.
Okay, fine. You are into walking, and you are into debating. Now, how does walking differ from traveling?
Sir, according to my conviction, traveling is the process in which we are going from one destination to another. The
Okay.
focus is only reaching the destination.
Okay.
But for me, personally, walking is important. The process in which they are walking is important. During the way, we can think, we can observe, we can talk, we can philosophize. The process of moving your legs and being part of the landscape you are walking is very important in that process. But transportation, it may not be that.
Okay. Do you believe that a profession affects your philosophy of walking? Say, for example, a doctor will not be seeing the same things as an engineer, or a geologist will be seeing more things than what a doctor can see when he goes for a walk. Do you believe in that view?
Sir, I don't think that some profession, if people belong to some profession, will see more, but surely they will see different.
Okay.
And to see different, the profession need not be a factor. Simply a person to person, what we see when we walk can be different. We may see the same things, but how we internalize, how we view. As a person, for me, trees are very important. I watch trees very much. But some people, buildings can be important. Some people, shopping malls can be a specialization.
You teach children. You teach children of which age?
Sir, mainly it is from primary and secondary.
Okay, fine. All these children, their attention span is getting reduced with every passing day. Now, how do you keep them engaged? What is your technique of keeping them engaged?
So, before telling the ways in which I feel that it is very difficult nowadays to get the attention span.
Okay.
And we have to use different tools. And from my personal experience, for primary students, telling stories is a very important tool. They are getting very much exposure to media, but story is still a unique thing for our students. Stories and relating to the present things, if you see a thing directly, it will be very boring to them.
Okay.
And for the elder one, it should be something different about anecdotes, my personal experience. They are much into that.
I just would like to seek your comments on one program of Government of India which was started with a lot of nationwide launching and expectations. That was the total sanitation program.
Total.
Because I hope you know the background in which it was launched,
Sir.
why it was necessary for India. But there have been reports coming about its efficacy to mitigate the problem in a time bound manner. What is, have you had occasion to look at that in your endeavor to understand what is happening in the country?
Yes, sir, I observed that. Sir, even though there are the inadequacies and some negative results are coming, we should support the initiative, whether it is in the name of Total Sanitation campaign or the recent Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, because the country need that initiative very much. Even though we say ourselves as civilizationally advanced countries and aspiring power, the cleanliness is a matter which we are backward in many areas of our country. We have some drawbacks, like the because the cleanliness is very much attracted to the related to the unfortunate caste system in our country. So people are very reluctant to put toilets as part of their home and to reduce manual scavenging or even to use flush toilets. The problems are there. Then there are inadequacy of funds and the participation of common people. But what are the obstacles are, we should realize the benign objective of the program, and we should strive for the success of that program. Roping in famous personalities or roping in students or showing the more political will, whatever it may be, we should travel the extra mile to see that the initiative is successful.
I thought celebrities are all over the TV on this matter, and also funds are more than adequate because they are not able to spend the funds. So, what has caused the setback to the program, the way it is not shaping the way it was expected?
So, one reason I have in my mind is that I said earlier, the caste system. If the scheme is mainly focused on building toilets and providing funds for building toilets and for the media initiative, but I believe that it fails to enter into the entrenched belief of people about the notion of purity and pollution. A scheme won't be enough for removing that entrenched belief. That needs a paradigm shift in the social behavior of people to make them believe that to cleaning the waste which our create is part of our duty, which is part of the philosophy of the father of our nation. That thing we need to travel an extra mile. Only visualizing the scheme as an infrastructure initiative will fail to see that, because in Tamil Nadu, even before this initiative was launched, there was a massive campaign to build toilets. The toilets was built, but it is remaining as museums. So, to get life into the toilets or to ensure that it is used, we should look into the social behavior. So that we need a long term strategy.
So, you, according to your, because I would like to dwell a little bit more on that, according to you, it failed because it was an engineering program.
Yes, sir.
Primarily.
Yes, sir.
And secondly, the caste system. I didn't quite get how the caste got linked to the sanitation program, because irrespective of caste, around 50% of the Indian population answer the call in open fields. So, all castes go there. So, how does the caste get linked into that, and what is the way in which we can make progress as a policy maker? What would you say? It has not done well. So, I would do these things to make it effective. What are the things which you will do?
So, for the first question about the linkage between the caste and the situation in India, I have two reasons to show that it is very much linked to the caste. So, number one, unfortunately, the historical practice evolved in India is that the people belong to the so called scheduled caste are used for the cleaning purpose, and all over in India, the cleaners, whether it be the toilet cleaners or the city drainers, more than 90% of it come from the scheduled caste background, and people do not want to clean it themselves. And the second reason is that there is the notion of the pollution and purity. The excretion which is happening part of the home is considered as a notion of very much impurity in our country. And further regarding the solutions, I believe that there should be some social cost of excreting in the public. There should be some initiative in the society to ostracize or to isolate the people who are still continuing this process. And the second one, at the individual level, this open defecation may be a social issue, but it is an individual act. There should be some emotional cost to it. People should personally feel guilt when they do it. So that we need to rope the students, because students are in every family, kids are in every family, they are in schools as well. So, if we are able to inject a feeling of guilt in students, then we will be able to make a headway in this issue, sir.
Sorry to not to leave that subject, but you said had there been toilet cleaners, then people would have used the toilet. That is why you said, you know, you do not get a particular caste only cleans, and since that is not happening, therefore people are not using the toilets. So, according to you, one of the fundamental reasons why it is failing is because you are not getting cleaners of toilets in the rural areas of India. Is that right?
Sir, I will rephrase the statement in another context. Sir, I feel that the problem in India is that the cleaning of toilets is considered as the only preserve of scheduled caste. That is the problem in India. The toilet cleaning.
So, how
should
does
be
it
done
get
by-
linked with the failure of sanitation program? That is why I am asking.
So, the sanitation.
I fully
program-
understand cleaning of toilet is associated with a particular caste, but why is not the toilets getting used? Is it because the caste people are not there to clean, or some other reason?
Sir, in India the traditional practice is that they use dry toilets, and in dry toilets it is cleaned by manual scavengers, and more than 90% come the scheduled caste background. The total sanitation program only support flush toilets. That is the right thing to do, but people are not ready to store excreta part of their homes in toilets. They think that most of the people who practices think that it should be cleaned by manual scavengers. So, that is the problem, I think. The social behavior related to the caste system also have an influence in this thinking, I believe, sir.
Do you know that manual scavenging has been banned under law in the country?
Yes, sir, it is banned under an act which is passed in 1994. But during the loopholes in the act and also in illegally, it is practiced in many regions. And when recently it was reported under the Chennai metropolitan area also.
That it is happening.
It is happening in India, it is a reality, sir.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
very much.
Anand. Just.
യെസ് ആനന്ദ്, എങ്ങനെ ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു ആ 2 റേറ്റിംഗ് സ്കെയിലിൽ നിന്ന് ഇപ്പോൾ 0 ആയോ?
അതെ, 0 ആയി. സന്തോഷം.
0 ആയി. സോ ഹൗ ഡു യു ഫീൽ? എങ്ങനെ ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു അകത്ത് ഇൻ്റർവ്യൂ പാനലിനെ ഫേസ് ചെയ്തപ്പോൾ?
എനിക്ക് ഒരു കാര്യത്തിൽ സന്തോഷമുണ്ട്. കാരണം ഞാൻ വിചാരിച്ചതുപോലെ എനിക്ക് ആ ഒരു പാനലുമായിട്ടൊരു കോൺവെർസേഷനിൽ എൻഗേജ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റിയെന്നുള്ളതാണ്. അപ്പോൾ ആ കാര്യത്തിലത് വിജയമായിരുന്നു. പിന്നെ ഞാൻ പറഞ്ഞ സ്റ്റേറ്റ്മെൻറ്റ്, എൻ്റെ ഒപ്പീനിയൻ, അത് ബോർഡ് എങ്ങനെ എടുത്തെന്ന് അറിയില്ല. എനിക്കൊരു റിവ്യൂ കിട്ടിയാലേ പറയാൻ സാധിക്കത്തുള്ളൂ. പക്ഷേ നന്നായിട്ട് സംസാരിക്കാൻ പറ്റി, ബോർഡുമായിട്ട് എല്ലാവരെയും ഐ കോൺടാക്ട് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റി എന്നുള്ളതാണ് ഒരു പോസിറ്റീവായിട്ട് ഞാൻ കാണുന്നത്.
ഒരു സെൽഫ് ഇവാലുവേഷൻ ചെയ്യുകയാണെന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ ഒരു 10ൻ്റെ റേറ്റിംഗ് സ്കെയിലിൽ എത്രയായിരിക്കും സാറ്റിസ്ഫാക്ഷൻ?
സാറ്റിസ്ഫാക്ഷൻ മാത്തമാറ്റിക്കലി റേറ്റ് ചെയ്യാൻ വളരെ പാടാണ്. എന്നാലും ഞാൻ ഒരൊറ്റ കാര്യത്തിൽ മാത്രമേ ഇവാലുവേറ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്നുള്ളൂ, എൻ്റെ എബിലിറ്റി ഓഫ് കോൺവെർസേഷൻ. അതും ഞാൻ വളരെ സാറ്റിസ്ഫൈഡ് ആണ്. ഐ വിൽ സേ 7.
വെരി ഗുഡ്. സോ ഓൾ ദി ബെസ്റ്റ്. നല്ല റിവ്യൂ ആയിരിക്കട്ടെ കേട്ടോ.
Anand, what we are sharing with you is to prepare you better. So, please don't take it as negative.
No, sir.
Because our role is to guide you the way we based on our interaction. Okay. On the whole, we felt that you would get a score around 55% in the interview. Okay. And some of the things which we noticed is that normally when you enter the room, may I come in, you should ask.
Okay, sir.
Okay. You just walked in, which is okay, but then when you go for the actual interview, when you just enter the door, just ask, good morning sirs, may I come in? And then similarly, before you sit down on your own, just reach there and hesitate for a moment, so the chair or somebody will say that please take your seat. So, these two things for as far as the entry is concerned. And as far as the interview content and some of the questions were concerned, on factual there has been a little bit of deviation from what is the actual fact. So, where you are not very sure on a particular fact, you can either qualify it and saying that I think it is around this, but I am not sure, or I do not know. If you know something approximately, then you can say I consider it is approximately, but exactly I don't not able to recollect or not sure. So, instead of giving an answer which may be factually at a deviation. And similarly, on many questions on sanitation or inclusive growth, wider level you have been wanting to think and express, but at a higher plane about the need for inclusive growth and how that's not happening because the fundamental point on inclusive growth you could have said is that everybody is having more income, but income of some are growing at a faster rate than others. So, that will create a little social tension, apprehension, this, that, and there are ways in which that can be rectified. If the same question is asked to an economic student, he would say that tax the rich more heavily, move from indirect tax to direct tax as a focus. Any indirect tax is regressive in nature. So, these would be some of the measures which normally would be for reducing inequality without killing initiative and entrepreneurship, you know. And similarly on you have good communication skills and keep it up, and you are young. So, this is your first attempt?
Second interview, sir.
Second interview. Oh,
sorry, sir. First interview, second attempt.
Yeah, first interview, second attempt. Anything which?
Only to add to what sir has already said, see, you have the potential to do much better. Your communication skill is very good, you have a pleasing personality. My feeling is that you can do much better. All you have to do is you can be very natural. Where you are not sure of some fact, don't go for guessing. Like regarding the Supreme Court ruling on Ayodhya, you said both the parties have accepted. No, strong reactions. Many papers have written editorials. You read the Hindu editorial on that. It puts the issue in perspective. So, where you are not clear about some facts, don't go for guessing. Similarly, on that rate of suicide also, what you said was totally wrong. These days, through Google, instantly the people will know what is the, and people who ask, they also have some idea about these things. So, don't go for that, and try to avoid jargons like cliched expressions. Try to, unless it is so essential, it may just fit in. Right there you can use, otherwise talk in the natural way, because your ability to communicate is really good. You only have to trust in that ability, and try to, wherever there is some specific question, try to give specific reply. Rather going for very general kind of postulation, that will people see as if this boy does not know that, so he is trying to go around like that. Because you have the potential, if you talk very naturally, direct on the issue, without going for cliches, without going too much for jargons and things like that, you can do much better, you will do better. Okay.
Just a small thing to add, if you are choosing to wear a necktie, I agree with whatever was said, go for a unitary design one, don't go for this is
Split,
more good on entertainment or parties, you know, don't wear a party wear necktie, go for a formal stripes or whatever it is. I agree with whatever the panelists said. Thank you.
No, I just want to say one thing. You look and sound quite official. I think the interview panel would want to know more about you personally, and you know, so your answer should be slightly more relaxed. You know, it all sounded like coached answers. I think if you can relax a wee bit and then come out with natural answers, you can, I think you have every chance of getting in. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
So, എങ്ങനെയുണ്ടായിരുന്നു ആനന്ദ് റിവ്യൂ ഒക്കെ?
കുറച്ചധികം ഇമ്പ്രൂവ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുമെന്നുള്ള റിവ്യൂ ആയിരുന്നു. എനിക്കൊരു 55% മാർക്കാണ് പറഞ്ഞത്. പക്ഷേ അത് കുറച്ചധികം നമുക്ക് മാർക്ക് വേണം. കുറച്ചുകൂടി ആൻസർ ചെയ്യുന്ന കമ്മ്യൂണിക്കേഷൻ സ്കിൽ വളരെ നല്ലതാണെന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു. അത് സന്തോഷമുള്ള കാര്യമാണ്.
എനിക്ക് തോന്നുന്നു ഇൻട്രോയിൽ ആനന്ദ് എടുത്തു പറഞ്ഞൊരു കാര്യമാണ് അല്ലേ, ആ ഒരു കമ്മ്യൂണിക്കേഷൻ സ്കില്ലിനെ പറ്റി. അതപ്പം അവരും
പക്ഷേ എന്നിരുന്നാലും ബാക്കി കുറച്ച് കാര്യങ്ങൾ, അതായത് സംസാരിക്കുമ്പോൾ ജാർഗൺ, ക്ലീഷേ വേർഡ്സ് അധികം യൂസ് ചെയ്യരുത്, കുറച്ചുകൂടി നാച്ചുറലായിട്ട് പ്രസൻറ്റ് ചെയ്യുക. ഈവൻ അബൌട്ട് നെക്റ്റൈയെ പറ്റി പറഞ്ഞു, കുറച്ചുകൂടി ഒരു ഫോമലായിട്ടുള്ള നെക്റ്റൈ ഉപയോഗിക്കണം എന്നൊക്കെ പറഞ്ഞു. അത് നല്ല റെക്കമെൻഡേഷൻസ് ആണ്. ഞാൻ അടുത്ത ഒരു മോക്ക് ചെയ്യുമ്പോഴത്തേക്ക് കുറച്ചുകൂടെ, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഫൈനൽ ഇൻ്റർവ്യൂ ആകുമ്പോൾ കുറച്ചുകൂടെ ബെറ്റർ ആക്കാമെന്ന് വിചാരിക്കുന്നു.
അപ്പോൾ ഓൾ ദി ബെസ്റ്റ് ഫോർ യുവർ ഫൈനൽ ഇൻ്റർവ്യൂ. ഓക്കെ, അപ്പോൾ ഇവിടെ കിട്ടിയ ഒരു എക്സ്പീരിയൻസ് എന്തുകൊണ്ടും യൂസ്ഫുൾ ആകട്ടെ.